Hi, it's Cammy. Charlie talks football.
Hello everyone and welcome back to Charlie Talks Football. It finishes Chelsea 3, Newcastle 2. Really disappointing to lose to Chelsea because I didn't think we played that bad. It was frustrating. Botman, you could say he was at fault for all 3 goals, but I think that'd be a little bit harsh. But it was just frustrated as a Newcastle fan because I don't think Chelsea played that well, but Cole Palmer was the difference, wasn't he, Dad?
Yeah, I agree. Cole Palmer, he had a hand in the goals. He was really, really good. We were really poor defensively, making defensive errors. I thought Howe set up okay, but Botman, for one of the goals, he didn't clear the ball properly. People are saying, he's coming back from an injury, needs time, but that's no excuse for not clearing a ball. That doesn't stop you from clearing a ball out the box. That was really poor. Gordon wasn't tracking back. Yes, he did have an injury and he went off, but before that, he wasn't tracking back or supporting Dan Burn.
Yeah.
I thought Murphy did well when he came on.
Yeah,
I thought
he
did.
Right. But I've got to say as well, there's a lot of people criticising Longstaff, and I think I've got to agree, to be honest, because he's just been poor for me the last few games he's played.
I thought he looked pretty slow last night, and I think our midfield, we're missing Joel Nilton and Tonali as always here, but it's just, he was just lacking a bit of pace and energy last night, and it was just really disappointing because, like you say, I don't think Chelsea were that good last night. I mean, obviously they scored some really good goals. Mudryak's goal was really good, but he went through far too easily.
Yeah.
And, people are pointing the finger, a lot of Newcastle fans are pointing the finger at Eddie Howe. The players have got to take some of the blame because that wasn't good enough. There was too many individual basic errors. And that's what cost one the night.
Yeah, I understand that there's going to be criticism of Eddie Howe, and I do agree. I think there was some times where you could have said, maybe he could have done this differently, but we've also got to criticise the players, like you said, because Botman, he has been making mistakes the last few games. I know you've got to get behind your players, but I do think Howe should maybe consider dropping him and starting Lascelles for the next game. Miggy as well, I'm a big fan of him, but again, he didn't really do much. I would consider dropping him and putting Murphy into the squad as well.
Yeah, we're midfield. We are missing two central midfielders in Tonali and Joe Lynn, but we can't keep using that as an excuse. It's not an excuse, but they are good players and they do make a difference.
But we've got good players in the midfield. We
have got good players. Bruno started to get on the ball more in the second half and get more involved in the game. But, it's individual basic errors. They're not like these are errors Premier League teams and players should not be making. They're really basic, and there's a lot of them, and that's not to do with coaching or anything. It's to do with the players individually, and they need to take a look at themselves and improve. And yes, we back the players. We want them to do well, and I'm not having a big go at them, but that's what it's down to, and we need to improve.
And as well, I thought Gordon, he just seemed quite lazy, to be honest.
Well, he did have a bad injury, but he seemed to be, even from the start of the game, I thought we started the game well the first 5 minutes, and we looked on top and we looked like we're going to boss it, and obviously they scored, and then he hurt his injury, but before that he wasn't tracking back, and he does this a lot. People are saying Gordon, he should be in the England team, and he's done really well. He scored lots of goals for, but there's lots of his game he can improve on, and one of it is tracking back and supporting the fullback. Because when he gets the ball, he wants to dart forward with it. But when it comes to tracking back, sometimes he does do it, but other times he doesn't. So he's inconsistent. And that's what he needs to look at, that side of his game. The last home game he played, Graham Jones and Eddie Howe were going berserk at him for not pressing on the ball during the last 10 minutes. And maybe he's ran himself into the ground a bit. But, they're obviously aware of it as well.
Yeah, and I think as well, people will look at goals, like you said, but it's not just about that. It's about, working hard for the team. It's not just about scoring goals. So just a frustrated performance. Got to mention Dan Burn as well. He really struggled against Cole Palmer. I think that was expected, so that is quite frustrating. I thought Willock was okay.
Yeah, he didn't really do much with the ball a little bit, didn't he? And I thought Livramento did okay as well. I mean, Isaac took his goal well. Yeah. When Murphy came on, his deliveries from set pieces in the box was really good. His goal was excellent, so it's not all negative.
Yeah, but frustrating result as well to lose against Chelsea, because you've got to think Chelsea haven't been good for most of the season, have they?
Yeah.
So for them to only be 1 point behind us, considering it seems like they're having one of their worst seasons in their club's history, is quite concerning to me, considering, like I said, how bad Chelsea are supposed to be doing, but they're only 1 point behind us. So we're just going to have to keep going on. We've got Man City, which I'm hoping for a positive result, but I'm not sure. I'm not sure that'll happen.
It looks like, Gordon's injury might not be too good as well.
Yeah.
We don't know yet, but, you could see he was in discomfort, and there was that clip of the physio, bending his leg, and he was screaming, which wasn't very pleasant for him. But he could be out as well. I know Barnes won't be ready in time for Man City on Saturday. So again, it's the curse of injuries, isn't it? Which isn't great.
Yeah.
But it gives other players an opportunity to.
I want to mention Barnes because is this a concern, the amount of times he's getting injured? Because it's starting to get a bit really frustrating now,
Yeah.
That's the thing about him. He scores a lot of goals, but I've heard quite a few fans saying over the past few days, why did we sign a player who, yes, he's got a fantastic goal-scoring record, but if he's getting injured all the time, there's not really much point, is
you could say the same with Wilson
I
as
know
well.
that,
I'm just thinking, though, we've either had a lot of bad luck this season with injuries, or it's a mixture of both, and you've got to have a look at the medical team as well and what they're doing, because players are coming back sometimes and breaking down, and it might be because players are coming back too early and there's pressure to play them because we've got such a long injury list. But it certainly needs looking at, because I've never known an injury list like this for as prolonged for Newcastle.
And I think it's frustrating as well because we're not even playing that bad. I didn't think we played that bad. It was just the fact, like you said, mistakes.
It's the individual errors overall. I thought, apart from the individual errors when we had the ball at times, we were okay. But, it's interesting today that the Telegraph have come out and said that even if Newcastle don't qualify for European football, that Eddie Howe will remain in charge next season. So I know, what do you think of that?
It's an interesting situation. I think if we don't get in the top 10, we should maybe consider sacking him. I know that might be a bit of a controversial opinion, but that's just what I think. So anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this frustrated performance for Newcastle? We've got Man City next of all teams, haven't we? So make sure to subscribe. We're trying to get 2,000 subscribers. Leave your thoughts down below. What are your thoughts on the players' performances? Who do you think should be dropped? Should Botman be dropped for the next game? That is a really interesting topic of conversation, isn't it?
Do you want Howe to stay as well? I mean, there's a few fans starting to question him now. I really like Howe, and I sometimes some fans who want him out. There's not many of them, but there is a few that want him to be sacked. But I like Eddie Howe, and I think he does improve the team. So hopefully we can hang on to him. But you never know in football.
So anyway, guys, take care. I'll see you guys in the next one.
Bye.